also using our equipment. If he'd have pulled out in the road and got killed with an inmate in there with him, we'd have paid a heavy price on that. And I can't allow any of that to happen. That's because I'm looking out for the liabilities of y'all in my county. That's black and white. It has nothing to do with opinion.
By one person, that's probably what it is.
But but the only active one that comes into our office is this one and Jody. He comes by now, and we had that discussion with Mr. Jamie earlier in the week. I'm trying to text y'all all as a group so you know what's going on when we're doing anything, but nobody's trying to fire anybody. I don't want to fire anybody. But there are some safety rules that are going to be put in place, and they're going to have to follow them.
Hutch ain't coming back long as that right there working. I'll tell you right now, county won't get Hutch back long as he's working, and he's working for the county.
This is the way I feel.
I know Hutch is my brother, he ain't coming back long as that one and that one working.
Let me finish, please. I'll make the motion to re-advertise for county manager.
That's what you need to do. Make that motion.
I need Hutch back.
I got asked to take this job, and I took it because I thought I could do a good job, but I'm working the hardest I can to save us money and to make everything safe for our people. If that's not appreciated, then I'm okay with that.
The motion dies without a second.
Then he makes a motion, he might get a second.
We need.
John?
Just did.
That's it.
Lord.
Are you done?
Obviously, there's no reason to talk about what's right and wrong, so yes, sir.
All right, now, my turn. Get involved, David. That's what I'm saying.
I'll get involved.
But run it through the policy and procedure that everybody wanted to follow, but they don't want to follow it unless it's to their advantage. At the end of the day, the policy and procedure is in place. Go by the office, get involved, get a project. What do you got going on for the county? What's in the county? What's your project?
I got plenty of projects.
What are they?
I got him down there working on D-track for those kids and stuff like that. I got all
This
that.
board supported every bit of it,
Yes,
hasn't it?
that's true.
So what's the problem?
It's evidently my motion is fixing to die, so I'll take it back.
It takes every one of us to run this county. I'm heavily involved. I'm heavily involved. That's what these people elect me to do. Hutch does not technically work for us. And he said it up here in this board meeting, hadn't he? He works for John and Roy. That's the policy, that's the
I totally
procedure.
understand that.
So nobody's trying to fire him or anybody else.
I'm gonna say something. I did have a meeting with Roy and John a week or so ago and talked about, a little bit about some of the stuff that I've been hearing. I'm not ready to get rid of nobody.
Neither are we. We just want to.
No, just hang on, I'm talking about you. I'm not ready to get rid of John or Roy. Every one of us needs to tighten up. Even me, all five of us. Mr. John, I didn't bring this up, but one thing when I'm here is maybe go spend a bit more time with Miss Barbie, learn some of that.
I've been in finance, and that's where I'm supposed to, that's the only
No,
business I
just
have.
maybe get up with Miss Barbie and learn that about the budget and stuff. Hutch has got some issues going on. His health issues. I told him just about every day. Some days I don't, just about every day. He called me this morning when he was going to the hospital with some issues, and I told him he needed to get it taken care of before he come back. He's got time. If he needs to take more time, you take more time and get his body healed up. We put him through hell. He's a good man, and he's been that road superintendent longer than I've been sitting in this seat. And next year will be 8 years. He's been there longer than that. He does a good job, but he is not perfect. There's some things he can tighten up on. He'll tell you that. But we need to call him in office and tell him what we need to change.
Yep.
A lot of the things that he's doing is because the 5 commissioners has told him in the past to do this, to do this, to do this. But if it needs to be changed because of insurance purposes, call him. Say, hey, we got to change this because of insurance. you know, figure out a way to do it, and just get it done. And we just gotta work harder together, you know. Yes, I've heard that some of us is trying to single Hutch out and all that. I try to dial that down and everything. That's the reason one week I went and talked with John and Roy. But after talking to them, I don't think that's, unless someone else can come up with some proof that they have, but I don't know about. But like I say, everyone else needs to be tightened up. We can always get better. You strive to be the best, but there's always someone better. That's how I look in life. I'm good at what I do, but there's always someone better that can do what I'm doing. I strive to be that better person every day. And so that's where I'm at. And John, Roy, y'all do a good job. There's some things you can tighten up on. Like I say, there's things that commissioners can tighten up on too, so I'm throwing that back in our lap too. There's things that Miss Cheney can tighten up on. There's things that I don't know about Miss Martha, because she's about right. Okay, and that's one thing that I would like to see is us help Miss Martha a little bit more. Because I see her stress levels, y'all know, y'all sit with her every day. Her stress level's here, but she does one hell of a job, and y'all ain't heard me talk like this. She does one hell of a job. And y'all ain't been in here that long. So, let's get after it.
Please don't make me have another county manager.
You, not at the moment. Not
This is my third one.
Now I'm gonna have my damn turn.
Not at the moment.
If anybody here has got a reason to try to get at Hutch, it would be me. I have no fault with Hutch. Me and him have settled our differences. We work with one another. We have a good working relationship. I've talked with him solely on, we're not going backwards. Well, we're making changes. We're making changes for the betterment of this county. And we're gonna make these changes. And I talked thoroughly with him about him coming back and going back to work. I ain't got nothing against him. As far as you talking about the finances, Roy Bass has been working hard on the finances, trying to get what I think them in that department to find out and try and figure out how that's been going on. He has been beating his head against the wall when they're working his ass off. So I kind of take that a little bit of an offense, because I know that man has been giving this county 110% ever since he has come on this board. He's given 110%. I don't know anybody else that's got a heart like that man right there that puts it towards his county. And I'll just leave it at that. But ain't nobody trying to fire Hutch, David, that I know of. And if like I said, if anybody has got a grievance to get punched in the mouth, sucker punched, I would be the son of a gun that had a grievance to get rid of his ass. And I'm not him. So if you can leave that alone, Hutch is doing a good job. We're just making a lot of changes in this county, trying to run it in the right direction, get everything straight and up above board, where everything is transparent, so the people know what's going on, and everybody's treated the same. And we're going to keep going down that road as long as I'm sitting up here. That's all I got to say.
Well, we just need to move forward and get this victory behind us. And we're up here talking about this shit. Let's move past this and fix this county, okay? That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
And I just want to say one other thing too. We've got this workshop scheduled for the policy and procedures, and I agree with Roy. We've got to get these policies and procedures placed and followed. That is #1 top priority, very important for us. So if we can get that continued and updated and continue to keep it updated, we'll be doing great.
I don't want my county to be poor and ugly. I want it to be successful and beautiful.